let's talk about this windscreen. The little Puig, I think I'm pronouncing that right, windscreen for the CB300R, or they have them for various other bikes. But these are not big windscreens, they're not tiny windscreens. They're enough of a windscreen that it looks like you've got a windscreen. But not so much that it completely is, like a typical cruiser, touring bike, adventure bike kind of windscreen that really keeps the wind off you. These just kind of deflect a little bit of it. I was questionable. I was willing to spend the money and give it a try. So let's put that in context. Delivered, it was $130. So for $130, you can give it a try to see if it's blocking enough wind in your situation to justify it. And for me, shortcut too long didn't read. Yeah, the answer is yeah. The answer is definitely yes. I am doing 60 miles an hour, and the amount of wind pressure on my chest, right in here, there's nothing here. I can feel there's a breeze, but there's no pressure, right? There's nothing here. The only pressure is when I get up to in here, I get some wind pressure. And really, even then, it's off to the sides, it's not here. I'm up here before I have pressure, like my hand is being pushed now. Here, no, nothing. There's wind, but it's not enough. You're talking a 5 or 10 mile an hour breeze, not 61, right? You don't feel like you're being pushed off the back of the bike. You don't get bashed around as much, but it is not protecting you from the wind completely. It's just taking the oomph out of it. And to me, that's the key. I wasn't expecting it to turn this into a fully fair sport bike that I'm tucked down into. Wasn't expecting it to turn into a Harley Davidson Street Glide or much less that. I'm brain farting on the names of the big glides. Street Glide and Road Glide. There we go. And that is just like, this is a small windscreen that is barely coming up to my, lower chest. It can only do so much. What doesn't it do? Because this is key. If you have a sideways wind, if you have diagonal wind, it can't do a whole lot about it. You get hit with that. You get buffeted around, you get swirling. If you're behind a big truck, the turbulence behind the truck can mess up the airflow that it creates, because this is creating basically a stream of air that is trying to push around you. It pulls other air with it. It's pushing and sending a jet of air upward over your head that then shoves the other air that is above it with it. So it's protecting more than it just is high, which is, pretty normal for windscreens. I'm not saying that's special. But that does mean that if the wind doesn't come in from that angle, there's not much you can do. But on the other hand, if it was big enough to do a lot, would you want it on your naked bike? Because that's the other aspect. A number of people have commented on the videos, the previous comments I had about this, the shorts and such, that, it ruins the look of the bike. And I don't entirely agree, but I don't entirely disagree. I feel that it significantly changes the look of the bike. Don't do it. And then if you really want that classic look that the bike has by default, that neo-retro thing, you gotta just suck it up. Because you're not going to have it. If you have the windscreen on, you've lost it. On the other hand, if you don't mind a few little, adjustments to that look, you get an awful lot of protection, and I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it's the best looking thing in the world, but I don't think it's bad. I think that it's small enough and aggressive enough, which is an interesting aspect to it. It looks aggressive enough that it kind of matches the vibe. Now, installation, not a problem. To be honest, I messed up the installation more than anything else. My interpreting of the instructions was lousy. That's not their fault in terms of my bad interpretation. So at some point I got to get turned around, and I want to go home and grab my chain stuff. Look at that view there. I need to grab my chain stuff, clean the bike, clean and lube the chain, and take care of that, because we'll be about 700 miles since I did it. And it's rained. Like I've ridden in the wet in the last couple of days, and I don't want to ruin my chain or anything else. I love the views in this section. Like, you come over these hills and you're like, oh, look at that terrain.